wants to be part of a club, to feel like they belong, to feel like they too can be just like anybody else, with a picadillo or exception. Everyone wants to know more about crypto, but geez, where can you learn more about crypto? And the answer is, of course, a crypto club. That's the focus inside this episode of Two Guys Talking Crypto. Greetings, everybody. I'm Mike Wilkerson, one of your hosts.
And I'm Grady Roy.
Grady, it's good to see you. And today we're going to be focusing on crypto clubs, the availabilities that people make so that they can gather with other people and talk about crypto.
I find this really interesting as an outsider who doesn't know much about crypto clubs. I'm really excited for this episode because it dives in to some serious potential for growth for the people who maybe are really interested, but they don't have nobody to turn to. And so if you have a physical club to get together, things like this can really result in a massive boom in the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, this is one of those things. What I find the most endearing is that it preys upon both old technologies like bulletin boards. You remember the bulletin board practices of sage old years.
Oh, yes.
Also the new internet groups and clubs and fan groups and things, Facebook groups, for example. All of the other different types of groups like Reddit. All of those things instantly explode when you start talking about grouping like people together. And one of the aspects that I wanted to make sure we focused on tonight was locally here in the St. Louis area in a city called St. Peters, Missouri, about 25, 30 minutes outside of St. Louis, depending on how fast you drive, you can get to a place called Crypto World. And Crypto World is, to my knowledge, the only brick and mortar crypto education center that there is in the United States currently. It's an amazing resource. It's a place that I've been to probably 5 or 6 different meetings. I've also taken one of their very first mining crypto classes there. And it is a legit networking meeting club. The difference is that it's not only online, it's actually a place where people gather, meet, educate each other, have delicious cupcakes, and make sure that the knowledge gets spilled, which is the whole goal here.
Now, let me ask you, having gone to these things, did you notice a certain level of curiosity amongst the people that were there? And I don't mean curiosity like a lot of people maybe on the outside, everyday world. Oh, they'd like to know more about Bitcoin and things like that. But people like you and I, and friends of ours who have a certain level of curiosity because they want to really dive in and really expand their knowledge. I mean, is it that kind of a group, or do you, do you find it's more just people wanting to know a little bit more about these coins?
Well, I think that's what I find extraordinary about it, because again, as of about now, as we record this, it's almost the end of the year. We're in the 3rd week of December. What I found 10 weeks ago is that I didn't know anything about crypto or Bitcoin or anything else. I knew that it was this amorphous thing that people would dump money into, and that there were these cool secret things and traits that it featured, and wow, it's so cool, and you got to buy in now, because if you don't buy in now, you're going to miss out big later. And that's really all I knew about it, and it was just something that really didn't interest me. And then I met my former co-host, Chris, and Chris expounded on a bunch of the different elements that made it instantly endearing to me, which we talk about that in our Enhanced 101 episode that you and I have done. I'll put a link to that inside the description inside of this episode and future episodes. But the reasons are many. There's a focus list that we go through that are really, really good. But as soon as you start hearing those things, it instantly opens your mind and provides you with more question marks.
Yeah.
And especially for me, I'm a lifelong learner. I love to go and attain and stuff more knowledge in my brain box. And it was instantly the opportunity to go and meet people that I know were also like me, but then also really the gold of crypto, which is the people that know far more than I do, so that I can talk to them. I can hear what they say. I can learn the vocabulary words. I can hear the phrases that are spoken when people are talking about crypto. And eventually I can incorporate that into my own fold to then use inside a conversation. And that's instantly juicy to me. I love that.
Sure. Yeah.
You'd asked about the level, and what I would compare it to is if anybody's ever attended a networking event for a workplace where you've never actually been to, say, a Chamber of Commerce meeting. Well, when you say the word Chamber of Commerce to people, that's instantly intimidating for someone that's never been to a Chamber of Commerce meeting.
Right. Yeah.
Especially if you're going as the representative of X company to chamber meeting, because, oh my God, I've got to speak in front of all these people and sound like I know what I'm talking about when I talk about our company. Well, it's very much the same thing where there is that, there are a bunch of people there to listen. And then there are some people who are there to talk. And as the people who are there to talk, other people start to feel more willing to talk and ask questions and share knowledge.
I think, I've been involved since about late 2014, early 2015. And, the information, of course, wasn't out there like it is today. You didn't have these Telegraph groups that you could join and learn, people to really kind of hold your hand in the beginning. From what I recall, it was a lot harder too to get a hold of coins, and it was a lot less secure to keep your coins. And a lot of us made mistakes in the beginning, and taught ourselves. And as we grew, the information grew and was available. And I can say, I really think that it would have been helpful for myself and everybody else involved, to be honest, to have something like that back then. I'm extremely tech savvy. I've worked in tech for 20 years, high levels of security and forensics and things like that. None of this throws me for a loop. I understand it all, but when it's new and you don't have resources, we're not geniuses here. So
Right.
I think this is
The
great.
resource, yeah, the resource piece of what you're referring to is also one of the things that I find terribly endearing about this
Mhm.
crypto club. Go join and learn more while you start your stair stepping.
Yeah.
I love that. For those that just want to know more information, it's perfect.
Yeah.
For those that want to dip their foot into the buying waters, that's there. For those that want to build machines, but maybe don't know anything about it except that it's a computer that's running, you can learn more about that. Are you interested in dipping deep into making a new mining machine that's dedicated to doing nothing but mining crypto? You can do that with, say, Jackass Laptop. If you want to jump past that and get into your own, say, an ASICS mining machine, which
Right.
is this incredibly involved, loud machine that does nothing but eat numbers and spit them out and give you awesome money. You can do that. Do you want to talk to some people about staking, which I have not learned a lot about, but I've learned that there are people that just sit and do nothing but talk about that.
Yeah.
And then
So
the other darker in the corners conversations that I know I'm not only not ready for, but they're not ready to just have that conversation in front of 35 people. So
right.
that awaits me also. And again, that's like candy to me. It makes my mouth water right now as I'm talking about it.
What I'm understanding from what you're saying, it's the whole spectrum of people. You might have some people there who I just want to invest in Bitcoin. It's the granddaddy of them all. That's where the money's at, so to speak. All the way to people who want to dive into nothing but altcoins. And
Yeah.
they want to buy those coins that have all those zeros behind the decimal at the hope that something hits a penny one day and they're sitting on a couple $100,000. So, I mean, it covers all these bases, and then even further into the machine builders. So
It
sounds
really does.
sounds interesting.
The coins that you were referring to, those are all mentioned. And what I love most is during the conversations, they'll start spitting out all these names of coins. And then someone else will mention a couple that I've never even heard of before, but that are apparently commonplace usage.
Sure.
And it instantly lights my pilot light, and I'll either write or type something down, and now I've got something else to go and dig into, either when I get home or if I want to go tap that person on the shoulder and go, hey, what's going on? My name is Mike Wilkerson, and I professionally surround myself with people far smarter than me. Would you like to have a conversation?
Yeah.
And it's tremendous. It instantly lights the knowledge fire. It instantly allows us all to become more knowledgeable. But again, it's as deep diving as you want to put on the deep sea diving cap and go learn more. There was an article that I found about this very topic. Let me pull it up here. And It focused specifically on Bitcoin buyers flocking to investment clubs to learn rules of the road. For those that are curious, we're going to be dropping a link to this article into the description of this video, which, by the way, take a moment to like this video and then share it with friends. Again, clubs like this are going to do nothing but grow over the course of the next several years, if not longer, because this is where that mass adoption thing begins to happen, when you can start taking a bunch of people that not only are interested in the thing, but then they can sit around and talk to other people about the thing. It instantly becomes something that everybody wants to know more about and go to find out more about. Grady, there was an aspect I wanted to bring up about you too, is that I don't know that you've got a formal club, but you've actually got at least a couple of buddies that you talk to about crypto regularly, do you not?
Yeah. So I'm a part of a Facebook group amongst friends, a couple dozen people that myself and 2 or 3 other friends who actually I influence, most of them, but have a couple years under our belt. We kind of teach what we know, and then we kind of all learn together and make mistakes. So I've got that, and I've got some buddies who are some pretty hard hitters in the NFT world, and there's 1 or 2 guys who have been in it from the almost very beginning, who are sitting on quite a bit of money, who I kind of lean to in the beginning with seeking advice and minimizing my mistakes in the early days. And so yeah, I've had a certain level of people in my life who are able to just kind of show me the way somewhat. And like I said, there was still a lot of learning, still made a lot of mistakes early on because the resources were so scarce. But yes, I do have people who I still kind of give a call every now and then. And long story short, most recently, about a year ago, when these coins were taking off, and everything seemed to be gaining traction, and Bitcoin was in the 60s, just doing really well. One of my friends called me up and said, "Hey, listen, we need to invest in this coin. If whatever you have available, let's throw some money on it." And so it was in the adult industry, okay, was coming out with a coin. And so at first I kind of chuckled, and then I thought to myself, I was like, but wait a minute. When it comes to things like that, the adult industry, it's recession proof. It's an $8 to $10 million industry annually.
Too true.
And anonymity is huge, right? So I'm thinking, what better adoption for a coin that can be used in any kind of aspect than an adult industry coin? And so, I threw $1,000 on it to sit on it for a few years, and we'll see where it goes. But long story short, to answer your question, these are conversations I have with these friends, about let's try something different, something new, and we really put some research and thought into it. And it's not just following the buzz, like, oh, a couple years ago, Ripple was going to be the next big thing. I actually now look at practical application of my investment, along with some risk. I do take some risk on some crazy coins, but practical application is huge for me. So yes, a club like what you're speaking of can be super beneficial to somebody just getting into the world of crypto and learning. And even if it's just the confidence to say, go ahead and take the chance. It's just $50. You would have wasted it at the liquor store anyway. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need that nudge.
Yeah, the one of the largest aspects, and I hadn't thought of it until you mentioned the adult coin. And it's not that we've had the adult coin people come in there and pitch the adult coin inside of that club. There's 2 things that came up actually. The first is that without question, the meetings that have been there have been male dominated. That doesn't mean that there haven't been any females there, but it's been male dominated. So I can definitely see where an adult based coin would totally not only have traction, but almost instant attention span across the board. So that's very interesting. The other large scale factor that is incredibly important, that I think is only going to grow over time, and why I love supporting not only this local business, but this aspect of crypto, is they're bringing in these very heavy hitter people to talk about very important things. One of the most recent events that they had a couple of Thursdays ago was a Bitcoin over beer event that they had. It was tremendous. It was focusing on 401k and IRA investments and your crypto. And Grady, actually, I'd shared the live of that as well. For those of you that are curious and would like to hear it, I totally encourage you to. We'll tuck this link down in the description also.
Okay.
It's that actual recording of that event, and it's a couple of incredibly detailed, skilled statisticians who take you by the ears and show you the power of not only what crypto has, but your investment power in regard to your IRA and 401k investments and their potential inside of a market that is only just really growing really, really fast.
Yeah.
The other aspect, they had what was essentially a crypto lawyer there, which who wouldn't want that job moniker, title, and knowledge base? I know I would.
That's interesting. Right.
She was incredibly educational, super detailed. And again, I encourage everybody to watch that video inside of the link that we'll have inside the description here. And the best part of it is that all she wants to do is educate people, because the window to be educated so that you don't get run over by, in particular, the tax man and governmental authorities,
right,
is to start learning now.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ever thought there was a great place to go and learn, if there was ever a great time to go and learn, the time is now. And the place is likely a club coming near you focusing on crypto. Are you going to be there? I want to hear from you guys. I need you to fill out the comments down here below here. And then also feel free to go over to our website over at twoguystalkingcrypto.com. Fill out the quick web form and tell me your thoughts about what's happening with clubs inside of crypto. Until next time, I'm Mike Wilkerson, one of your hosts.
And I'm Grady Roy.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.